take a walk on the woo-woo side with me. My name is Michelle Douglas and I am on a mission to help you to step into your power so that you can create the life you desire. Visit me at empoweredlifeprograms.com to learn more. Hello everyone, it's Michelle here, and today I'm going to be telling you my little story about how I manifested the love of my life, who happens to now be my husband. So I went through my second divorce basically happened, and I went through a whole lot of soul searching during that time to find out where the heck I'd gone wrong. I realized that I was the common element, and although I left for legitimate reasons, I was still the common element between my first two marriages. So I knew there was something I needed to work on myself to get me into a place where this would hopefully not happen again. So I went through that process, and it took me a very long time. And I became the ultimate example of what not to do when it comes to relationships and dating and that sort of thing. And one of the things I did learn during that period of time was to always trust your intuition. Mine was always talking to me, but I was ignoring it. I would hear it, but I wasn't listening. And what it was saying is, no, he's not it. That's not it. Stay away from that one. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go there. I tend to be a little bit rebellious, but obviously that was to my own detriment. And so it took me a while to sort myself out. But what eventually happened over time is that my goal was to get to a place where I was completely happy on my own. And it took me a long time to get there, because people were saying, oh yeah, you should be happy on your own. And I thought, what a crock of poo. I am not going there. I want to have a relationship, and I don't want to be happy on my own. Like when you look back at it, it's like, really? But anyway, I got myself to a point where I was actually really happy on my own, and I became quite self-sufficient. I wasn't necessarily, I didn't need a relationship anymore. I still desired one, but it became okay, if I have the ultimate relationship, that's just the cherry on top, because I'm already in a happy place. And that's where I got to. I was in a really happy place. I was doing my own thing, and one of the ways I got myself to my happy place was using a process similar to the Positive Aspects, or the Book of Positive Aspects by Abraham Hicks. I hadn't actually learned about this from them at that point of time, but I had created this ritual, I guess, where I would write down what I'm grateful for, and specifically around being single, why I'm grateful for being single. And what came up through that was, all the things I could do because I didn't have the relationship. So not having the relationship ended up being a somewhat positive thing for me, but it also got me into a mindset where I'd be okay no matter what. And it actually helped me to detach completely from any chance of ever having a relationship. Like, it was just like, no, I'm going to completely detach from that. If I don't ever have one, I'll be fine. If I do, that's amazing. And I then wrote down a goal. And they do say, if you write down your goals, you're more likely to achieve them. So that's one of the very first things I get my clients to do, is write down what they want. Because if you don't know what you want, you'll probably keep changing your mind about what that is. And it's like the universe is trying to hit a moving target. It's just never going to happen. So write down what you want. So I wrote down, I am in a loving relationship with the perfect man for me. And that's all I wrote. So I was pretty vague. I did, however, I will admit, have a little spreadsheet which had a list of essentials and desirables. Now, the essentials were the deal breakers. So they were all the things that had to be in place or not in place to be okay. So, for example, I didn't want to be with a smoker. I didn't want to be with someone who was a couch potato. I wanted to be with someone who, had a good, he needed to have a good sense of humor, because, you know, to be with me, you need one. But yeah, he needed to have a sense of humor, relatively intelligent. Like, I didn't expect him to be a literary genius or anything like that, but it needed to be someone I could have a really good, intelligent conversation with. And then in the desirables, so they weren't deal breakers, you know, he had to be tall, he had to have nice arms. The list went on. And the desirables are more like the little cherries on top of the cherry. So, but the others were deal breakers. If he missed out on any of those, then no, I wouldn't move forward with him. And lo and behold, within a couple of months, I'd met my husband, Laurie, who ticked all the boxes. So he had all of the essentials and a lot of the desirables, which was rather handy. And that's basically how I manifested him. So I wrote it down. I got happy where I was and therefore detached from the outcome of having him. And, you know, every now and again, I would visualize myself in a situation where, you know, I was with the love of my life, that sort of thing. You know, when I talk about thoughts, emotions, actions, and it's really just about getting those in alignment with what it is you actually want. And if you're sitting home pining over someone, then you're definitely not in the right mindset to actually attract love, right? So you've got to get yourself out of that state and get comfortable where you're at, but still desire more. And you're more likely to attract more if you're in a more positive state than if you're in a negative one. And that's ultimately what happened. So that was quick, but yeah, it tells the story, right? See you tomorrow.